Considering India, it is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and corner of the India, right? So from everywhere people are working.
So we put in the shoes of ourselves in the shoes of say about 25 different or 50 different categories of people, right? We assume, hey,
how do you make sure that intent is converted to actually a purchase is where the traction happens.
So to reach out to them
and somehow I would say basis the kind of portion
the kind infrastructure currently what we have, telecom infrastructure
to put in, or the kind of traction that the customer
and internet, it needs a massive scale,
right? How much you're holding, why you're holding, what's your retention period.
One is putting in terms of what he's selecting or she's selecting on the website, basis that making intelligent decisions. So for example, if somebody is going on to
those things will get into the audience as well. So
hello and welcome everyone to the chapter 1 of Scaling Smart, how digital native companies are building tech for the next billion users. Today we have with us some really great leaders, some great minds that have built and scaled companies from basically scratch. They are the forefront of innovative as well as affordable technology. And this panel of experts who are here include firstly Mr. Suman Mal. He is the head of backend engineering at Sony Pictures Entertainment. So would you like to say a few words about your journey?
Thank you. Thank you, Nishchita, for this wonderful opportunity. It's my pleasure and honor to be here. Hi, as you all know, that I'm Suman. I'm heading the backend engineering for Sony Leap. It's been more than a year now. I'm leading it, and this is a quite interesting space where we are doing a different set of innovations and progress in technology space. Definitely nowadays with the trend of AI SDLC. So, looking forward to share more insights on this.
Thank you. Harish, so would you like to go next?
Hey, hello. Hi, my name is Harish, and I'm the senior VP engineering at ACO. Been ACO from the very early days, built the health and life products at ACO engineering tech product. And now I lead the software and infrastructure architecture at ACO. So being in the D2C space, ACO, as you know, is a D2C insurer in India. Technology platform is our product. We don't have an intermediary model, so the trust the customers build on us is directly driven by our product and technology platform. So that's fundamental. That's core to what we do. And I hope this is, and I see a lot of good technology people here on the panel. I hope this is going to be an interesting discussion. And thanks for having me here.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Shagun. He is the CTO at Adani Digital. So over to you.
Hi, all. I'm Shagun. Been with Adani Digital for close to 3 years now. And of course, it has been a roller coaster ride where I think we built the product, and considering it was the first of a kind. So getting entire traffic spikes has been the kind of journey we've had. So looking forward for having an interesting conversation here today.
Thank you. Last but definitely not the least, we have Mr. Prasad. So would you like to say a few words about your journey?
Sure. Yeah, I'm from a different sector. I mean, I'm from cybersecurity. I drive the group's office at Tanla platforms. That said, I have Tanla, Carix, Valley First, and Gamuga majorly take care of from cybersecurity standpoint. Coming with more than 20 years of experience, I have been to most of the engineering roles, have been an entrepreneur in the past. As a group CISO for the last 5 years. And Tanla, as many people may not know here, is into telecom, and we take care of almost 80% of entire SMS traffic from business point of view today. We stand behind the telcos while delivering the messages to people. We also take care of business WhatsApp messages and RCS and email. There are a lot of regulatory controls enforced by TRI and others, which is being met by us. Hence, the entire message is being passed through by us. We are also spread internationally in many countries, but primarily in India.
Thank you for that. Also, so the next round of this is just a few questions that we had from our audience prior to the session, and they're very specific to each office. I'm going to start with I'm just going to pick a random question and get started here. So, Suman, the first one would be for you. As a backend engineering leader managing large scale systems, can you share an example of how you scaled backend technology affordably for markets like India? And maybe if there is just like a simple yet impactful innovation that helped you.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting topic to pick up, right? So there is two key point what you mentioned. One is scale. So scale come with cost. Definitely, it has its own cost, but affordability. So how optimized or affordable we are making it. So in different domain, it plays the combination differently. But in OTT domain, what we have done is that offload the traffic, right, or offload the QPS/TPS towards third party. I can say it's third party, but the tech side. So simple answer is like, okay, we leverage the CDN, in CDN edge workers for me. So these are the pretty much of the solutions which is available in global market. We utilize it. Now, what does it mean? It means across the globe. So in Sony Live is live in 53 countries across the globe. India is the biggest market. Considering India, it is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and corner of the India, right? So from everywhere people are watching. So to reach out to them with the kind infrastructure currently what we have, telecom infrastructure, mobile and internet, it needs a massive scale. We are leveraging different multi-CDN strategy and their global network to do that. So now, can we do it as a scale by being centralized? The answer is yes, but it is very expensive. So as I talked earlier, how we have done, we have decentralized it. That non-decision making logic and the catering to the content, we made it to the edge workers, some small logics and all those things, right? So that's how we are able to scale at a global level with affordability. Similarly, while it is coming to the infrastructure wise, so every single tech solution has its own limit. Let it be your Redis pops up, let it be your MSK connections and anything. So there are multiple combinations we have played. I'm going slightly bit more technical details into it. So where we have utilized decentralized caching mechanism, then caching over DB as well as the application layer, collapsing mechanism, right? Where your, say for an example, we are hosting a key event during the sign up or during the beginning of the event, your 10,000 or 1 lakh request came. We definitely don't want it to serve it from our database, right? So it is as essential, we will collapse it into one, and that one request will go into backend and then it is getting served. So our infra cost is saved heavy. So these are the techniques what we are using in this particular space, which is making us scalable yet optimized or affordable.
Okay. Quite interesting. For somebody that's not from the tech background, this did go a little over my head, but I'm wondering what other people had to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, these are bit technical side, but probably this is the easiest way I can make it articulate, right? So the easiest way is like, okay, we are making sure that the decision making capabilities is near to you. That's the CDN job. That's the very simplistic example what I can give.
That part I completely understood. Thank you so much for making it easier for us non-tech folks. So Harish, so this is actually a question that came from two different people, similar type of question. ACO is very well recognized for simplifying insurance tech, as we all know. So how do you approach designing simple solutions to address such complex user journeys and complex problems? And if there are any design principles or examples that you can give to the audience to highlight this.
Oh, it's a fantastic question, and whoever those two people are, I really appreciate the deep thought they've put into asking. While the question seems very simple, I think the answer is very nuanced, and it's very appropriately it's a very appropriate for us at ACO. I'm hope both of those and everybody here is an ACO customer. If not, should be one now. So you're absolutely right. Insurance is probably a very complex digital product to buy, right? So if I simplify it, If you're buying a standard SKU, like you're buying an iPhone on an e-commerce website, right? The variations in the iPhone or any phone for that matter is fairly straightforward. You have a memory capacity, maybe a screen capacity, maybe a model, right? And every phone of that nature behaves exactly the same. Like, if you take two iPhones, they're exactly the same. There's hardly any difference between them except for some IMEI numbers, which is a very technical thing, right? Meaning the usage of the products are the same. Insurance is exactly the opposite of it. Even in the forum, there's this forum that we have here. Everybody here has a different personal health, different personal history, different family structure, right? With respect to gender, race, place of living, etc., previous health conditions, insurance product has to be tailor-made to that particular individual or the family, right? When you sell this online, it's a very complicated design thinking process that goes into. Some very, very basic fundamentals that we have to think about is we have to think about customer backwards. That's the first principle. The first principle is we don't think what we need to build. We have to think what the customer wants. So we put in the shoes of ourselves in the shoes of, say, about 25 different or 50 different categories of people, right? We assume, hey, we think about it like this. Hey, I'm an IT professional, 25 years old, single, and I'm fairly healthy. I play sports regularly. What is my view of insurance, right? Somebody else would say, hey, I'm roughly a 45-year-old, person, married, have two kids, husband works, say, in some other I am want to buy health insurance. What are the needs of this particular woman, right? Then when we collect all this, then we get into something called as what we call as IA, or information architecture. What it means, like we architect systems, we also architect the information flow. What is that? It is when somebody sees a surface area, it could be a screen, it could be a app, it could even be a TV ad if you go that far. What is running in their minds? And when they see it, what do they get out of it, right? Confuse number of screens with the complexity of the application. That's not true. What is important is complexity of what the interaction is with you. If I'm asking a very fairly simple question, what's your gender, right? There's nothing to think. You don't have to apply your mental ability to answer that particular question, right? So information architecture has to ensure that the consumption at the end user side is fairly simple. So, for example, let me give you another example. I would want to know whether a person, what is the level of alcohol a person consumes, because for health it's important for us to know, right? You could ask this question very differently. You could say, are you alcoholic? Now the person has absolutely no clue what that means, right? What qualifies to be something like that? While I would want to know as an underwriter, the person has absolutely no clue, right? Then you start to unpack it. You just say, hey, are you a casual drinker? Now you don't know what casual means, right? Is it once a day, twice a day, 2 times a week, right? Then you say, hey, how frequently do you? Then there's quantity, right? Is it little? Is it more? So now you understand that what I want to get out of the customer, I just want to know whether the person really has an alcohol problem or not, right? But the information architecture, the consumer side, has to be very, very different. So this is where the unpacking on the consumer backward side happens, right? Number one. Number two, especially for the digital systems, and the question that somebody asked, you end up doing, and this is fairly a well-established, design principle. You end up doing what is called as a funnel. Right? What is a funnel? Very typical, like a funnel. On the top there is more, at the bottom it becomes less, right? So people who come on your first surface area, it could be a home page, it could be a product page, etc. Versus the people who end up buying the product, there's an attenuation of people, meaning people drop off at different points in time. An ideal funnel is 100 on 100. 100 people come in, 100 people buy a product, right? It doesn't happen. There are people who come in, drop off, etc. How do you understand attenuation at the various information blocks? It is not screens, information blocks, right? For example, when I ask a customer, where do you live? Some customers may feel, hey, I don't want to tell this company where do I live because, I don't even know whether I'm going to buy or not, right? So you have to identify how comfortable the customers are in giving you relevant information. And your design has to exude that confidence to them to say, we use your data only where it is needed, right? You can't be greedy and say, tell me everything about you, then I'll show you the code. Then nobody's going to come to you, right? So you need to build the confidence with the customer across, the consumer journey. right? So this is how a good funnel gets established. The various way to do this, each product category is different, and Amazon would do it differently, right? A Flipkart would do it differently, a Zepto would do it differently, right? Whereas, for example, on Amazon, people might want to say, hey, let me see four laptops before buying. But on Zepto, there are no 4 tomatoes that you have to look at, right? You exactly know what you want to buy. So the funnel is more or less very straightforward, right? But in a health insurance, our funnel is very large, simply because it's a multiple consideration cycle, what we call. What is consideration cycle? How quickly does the customer make a decision? So when you're designing and to answer those two people, you have to understand what product is product or service is going out, and what is the consideration cycle. Is it a quick decision making product? Is it something that the customers would mull on? For example, in health insurance, people come to us, they understand, they ask their uncle, they ask their colleague, they ask their neighbor, they'll ask somebody who went through a health process, and they will do all that research and they will come back. It's like buying a car, right? But this is far more complicated, because you may buy 5 cars in your lifetime. You will not buy, say, 5 life insurances, right? You'll probably buy 1, max 2. So consideration cycles are different. So your design principle has to match your consideration cycle, right? Again, there are a lot more technical and design nuances, but I think for the abstraction of this particular meeting and keeping time in mind, 3 things are important. I'll just summarize. Number 1, consumer thinking backwards, not what you want to build, but what they want. Number 2, how do you simplify the information architecture for the customer? And number 3, how do you understand the consideration cycle and how to build for it? I think this is where we would start. Let's see how we can unpack this.
While you were talking, I was just thinking about India IT 360 and what the kind of challenges we are facing when it comes to the funnel. And especially dealing with IT CXOs, they are very well versed with, and they're also extremely reluctant to share any kind of information. And we are trying to probe into that. One, we are trying to understand their tech landscape, what they are doing, what does their grid look like, things like that. Other, we're trying to know more about them, what instigates them to go to a particular event, sign up for activities. So what worked for us, instead of just telling them to go sign up, we started engaging with them through, say, a webinar, or we started engaging with them through inviting their families to things, and then that became the funnel that worked for us. So I sort of relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely right. So building trust over the funnel is important. How varies with the product or the service that you are selling. Absolutely.
And so how would this translate for you though? Like I'll take a minute away from the questions that I have. This is a very interesting point. This customer journey mapping, especially when we're planning for the next, billion customers, both for you, Shagun and Suman, what does it translate to? What does your, trust building cycle look like in order to scale to those levels? You both are responsible, your companies are responsible for a billion users already, approximately. So what works for you?
I will definitely offer Sugan to talk first, because I have already spoke once.
Yes.
So let Sugan talk and then I will take up.
Yeah, so specifically what I understand, Nishta, from your question is you're looking forward for what exactly is like the traction around how to get billion users in terms of funnel, or what is
Funnel.
like how do we really manage? Yeah, sure. So I think one thing is, and I think beautifully put by Harish, you would end of the day want 100 users to buy 100 things, at least at a bare minimum, or at least 200 things, frankly speaking, versus even just 100. And that's a fair expectation, but that's not how it actually works out to be the case. So end of the day, it's more like again, like once a customer is in, how do you really probe or provide them the insight of what they are looking forward to? How do you personalize things for them basis the customer traction? What is it that they are here for? What you are here to offer them? And having that sweet spot that it makes a gel that they proceed ahead. Because ideally, when somebody is onto your website, they have an intent. However, how do you make sure that intent is converted to actually a purchase is where the traction happens. And somehow I would say basis the kind of questions you put in, or the kind of traction that the customer is putting in terms of what he's selecting or she is selecting on the website, basis that making intelligent decisions. So for example, if somebody is going on to a men's shopping area versus a women's shopping area, or a particular food category versus a duty free shopping, you need to entice them more on those trends versus thinking what you want to sell, as rightly put, I would say, in that direction. So hence key artifact or key thing to make, I would say, decision basis what the intent of the customer is than what you want to sell, number one. Secondly, like making it very relevant for him or her, what they are here for, so that you give them relevant or a personalized stuff. Third thing is knowing your customer well, so that once you have they have shown an intent, you make sure that you don't bug them so much that it go ahead and remove your app or stop coming onto your website intent. Just give them the relevant information once and don't poke them too much onto it that you have an intent to go ahead and actually make a purchase only, because it would be like I want to do a purchase maybe 3 months down the line, but I have an intent, I'm just watching around now and getting the insight and I'll come back. But if you poke them too much in that 3 months, it would be more like I'll not make booking onto this website because it's too pokey, kind of a thing.
The balance is very important.
Really balance.
Yeah, Nishita. So before I begin, first of all, I am a customer of Echo, and because of the simplicity, right? Few clicks and it is done. So my car insurance followed by health insurance is really sorted. And thanks,
Thank
Harish,
you.
make it very very simple, right? Now coming to the part, right? So what does it mean to us or me for Sony Live, right? See, the major conversation we are looking for by the proper set of recommendation, right? So what you have watched, what you stick to more, what you want intended to search. So basically intention, what is being served and how much is the bounce rate, basically, right? So based on that, we are figuring out that okay, what is the matching content we can recommend to you. So it is more and more on the refinement of the recommendation. I'll not go to the algorithm or the email model what we are bringing in place, but definitely, right? So it's all the game of recommendation, right? So as Sugan is also talking about, so it is not about the poking, but it is about to understand what is really driving this customer so that they will stick to us. Right? So we want the recurring payment. So in our model, what is this? Is more of the recurring payment. So you subscribe for an year and then you go for the recurring payment.
Sure.
Now where we have more than 5 lakh content or the asset, so definitely a user knows few of them, because for some movie or some few of the famous shows, they will come to the platform. They will watch it. Maybe could be a web series or something. But if I wanted to retain them, I have to show them, okay, there are a few more to offer. Because you have watched this, probably these are the other things you can like. That is one area. Other than this, you come and search something, right? You get a bunch of items from the search, and you are clicking on that. How much time you are spending that? So that particular data is telling me that okay, what is your interest level at what category. So if I'm promptly showing you those kind of thing which you are potentially looking for, that makes the hook and you can stay back on with us. So that's the real game actually, where we are tracking the user intent, user interest, and the engagement, and offering the content as they like. So it's all about the customer centricity.
I don't know about the viewers that we have on the live today, but I have learned three main things from this conversation. From Harish, I learned to get the trust by asking the right questions. From Shagun, I learned to not probe too much into getting people to use it. And from someone, of course, the magic of understanding what your customers want and to personalize it just enough. So that would be the three things that I took away from it. Prasad, so the question I got for you from the audience was that from a security and compliance perspective, how has integrating AI and automation transformed your processes or products? And while others got the give us a good insight, tell us a success story, the question you had, this is from a totally different consumer. This person wants to know, what's one tough lesson your team learned while adopting AI in this domain?
Okay, that's yeah, AI is still evolving. It's a daily a different scene. Let me go back a few years back when I was actually heading security for Daily Hunt mobile app, completely AI driven. Where somewhere it close to Sony Live, because we have to again characterize each of the individual user and deliver the right news. Otherwise, they will get out of the app. Right. So if you have experienced the Daily Hunt app, it just push news to every user. So when you start watching few newses, it characterizes you based on the mobile that you hold, nothing else. And when you come back to that mobile, you will see similar news, right? If you are the person who interested in sports, yeah, more into the sports. Else, if it's politics, more into the politics. Again, when it comes to AI, regulatory controls comes along with it, right? How much you're holding, why you're holding, what's your retention period. Um, those things get into the audits as well. So hence we have to have our own recurring periodic review process that ensure that the PIs are managed in the right way. We have to document them. We have to ensure there's a governance policy around it. And coming to my current role, today I have almost entered India's PII because I manage most of the OTPs that's flowing through in India today, right? That said, I'm just stopping at OTP. What more you can guess? This is very sensitive in terms of your bank account, in terms of your information. Along with AI, data comes, right? AI need a large chunk of data to process. Um, so one more thing we are doing with AI is when there is a very large flow of SMS on our pipe, we can see a lot of spams happening, a lot of scams happening. All of them we cannot stop because of the regulatory control itself, but there are some of them we can go ahead and stop. So we started even running LLMs on top of messages and identify spams and stop them. For example, Axis Bank has a deal with us to stop spam on Axis Bank and many others, right? So from that standpoint, we started doing things for the people, and that's one advantage we have from AI side. Again, when I said that we have to follow regulatory controls of TRI, now DPDP is on our way. We have to be in alignment with RBI and many other regulatory bodies in the country and outside the country, other bodies. That said, there is a lot of governance coming along. There's a lot of controls coming along. Uh, we have a very strong regulatory team, a GRC team focused on entire GRC process. I have basically carved out my entire group into three verticals. One is on SecOps, just to go behind, identify hackers, etc. And another one is on security engineering, just to focus on security at the engineering aspect. Another one is completely on GRC, uh, governance, risk, and compliance, that is GRC. When it comes to governance, there is quite a lot in AI. The ethical side need to be considered. PII, personally identifiable information of each of people, need to be considered. When it has to be deleted, it has to be deleted. When it has to be kept, it has to be kept, right? And when DPDP coming into picture, we will have to get consent from each of the people to keep their data and let them know why we are having their data. All these are going to be very challenging when you think from a resource perspective. We need to have the right set of tools, right set of procedures, and things like that. That is in progress. Some of these aspects are in progress, but today AI is helping us a lot. At the same time, we are very careful while consuming it. We have our own governance policies and committees to drive things, even the ethical part of the story, what to do, what not to do. But it's a very highly dynamic. Right now, you're going to see GPT-4 to GPT-5 change. Uh, we are yet to see the actual AI. That's what I feel. It's going to again getting into the agentic AI scene and change the whole thing, right? Um, so it's an area which is changing every day. So I cannot say I'm doing everything, but I'm doing my best.
I guess with great insight into customer data comes great responsibility, and that's what your team is
Indeed,
doing.
indeed.
Okay, so with this, we come to the last piece of the discussion today. This is going to be a rapid fire round. So let's keep this light, quick, and energetic. I'll say a question. Whoever wants to answer it first can answer it, or would you like me to pinpoint people and ask them that particular question instead? Which one is preferred?
Yeah, go ahead. Point because we have 10 minutes. So let's
Okay.
do this real rapid.
Okay, cool. In that
there'll be
case, let's start with
collisions.
you. Harish sir, one tech metric you obsess over daily.
Sorry, come again.
What's the one tech metric you obsess over daily?
One tech metric that I obsess over daily.
Yes.
For us, yeah, it's availability.
Okay. And Shagun sir, what's more important, user experience or cost optimization?
Actually, both I would say, because
You
if
have
you are
to
not
choose one.
optimizing the user experience, I would say matters more, because if user is unhappy, you can't do much with just optimizing the cost in a better way, I would say.
Okay. That's another way of saying that both, but it's okay, I'll take it. Prasad, so since you spoke about AI, what do you think AI is a hype, hope, or already a game changer?
It is a game changer today, and it will be a bigger game changer tomorrow.
Suman, with you, the next big tech trend you believe will disrupt digital natives?
Big tech trends, definitely user experience with AI, specifically this micro experiences.
Well, with that, we come to the end of this session. A big thank you to Suman, Prasad, Shagun, and Harish for joining in and sharing practical insights. Before we log off, if you have any words of wisdom for digital natives that are just popping in the market, we see some new ones popping in every day. It would be great.
That's a very, very big question. For you cannot have company-wide solution, etc. So probably one very quick thing that I would say is the time to experiment, specifically with user experiences. The cost. When I say time, it means both cost and effort is drastically changing, and the designs that were once sacrosanct maybe 5 years ago are not so sacrosanct going forward. Meaning the ability to experiment with consumer experience used to be sprints or weeks sometimes. Today it's a matter of hours, sometimes even maybe days if it's slightly longer. So digital natives that come up today should think very differently on how they want to architect, build, and deploy, of course, and then dial up, as we call it, their consumer experiences. The cost to create front end applications, deploy them, experiment, gather data has now become fairly low. This is fundamentally important for digital natives, because digital natives, the consumers are interacting with their product. They don't go anywhere else. It's not a shop that you go in and somebody says, hello, sir, aapko kya chahiye, right? It's actually a product that they're directly interacting with. So, and your ability to understand your customers very quickly, very deeply, the cost associated with that is drastically going down as we speak, right? It's a multiple of technologies. AI is a very big driving factor. So that would be my, I don't know, one word, if anybody is listening to this, one word to say, if you're not there, somebody else will do it for sure, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else?
A few thoughts, right? One, use AI. That's cutting short number of hours that earlier a company took. Today, when one person can code as much as many people were coding earlier time. Second, don't lose out on security. Just not because it's my profession, I'm saying it. Because there are security issues which has brought down the companies. When you have something open to internet, there is so much open from your company. There are companies which are getting scanned every day, night, and they are not aware of it. Just have a clear focus on at least someone in your company looking into a security posture, at the minimum from outside to inside. What is visible and how safe they are, because that is where your most important security posture is sitting. You should not get hacked, and you should not lose whatever you have made with a lot of sweat, because you're just starting off. And then acquisition of customer is the key, as everybody know. For a vegetable business to any business, we should have a clear strategy on customer acquisition and matching it with the cost. And that's it. The game is on. That's all from my side.
Thank you. That makes
sense. So primarily what I can say is, again, I think you asked also that question, cost optimization. I think that's one of the key factor that you need to be in considerate, because with the new tools and the new things, You never know on the cloud where your cost would reach. So be cautious of what I think. I would say it's an amalgamation of multiple answers today. Someone talking about caching, that goes without saying, because if you're not caching well and going everything to your external systems, your cost would increase many-fold. Again, the performance of the system would also be impacted, and you're creating more threats than what Prasad talked about. So it's like, be cautious of which segment to touch how, have relevant caching in place, go in a phase approach than trying to build everything in one go. And I would say that's all from my side.
All right, Suman, over to you.
I will keep it in 2 points, which I firmly believe. First thing first, make it simple, right? Just like Google's homepage, Google search homepage, right? So simplicity is like customer needed, right? If it is too complex, customer will not entertain that. Second is fail fast, right? So we are into digital because we are talking about digital native. So wherever it is not directly, I would say, human impact, if you are not in healthcare and if it is not directly associated with money, because you are transferring money, banking system, move fast, fail fast, move fast. So if you are moving fast and fail fast, at least the number of success you will hit is higher. And I will also touch upon the other part, which I firmly believe nowadays it is very much important. Moving fast also means that you are taking very short calls, productive discussions, which is very much important, which will help the internal employees to stay focused and productive. Not needed that clocking 12 hours in a day, right? 6 hours, 8 hours, productive job done, go home, chill out. That is needed. So while we are moving fast and everybody is focusing on the work, no bakawas, that thing can happen.
Thank you so much for those insights, and let's try and build something for not just for the next billion users, but let's build with them and empower the next set of digital natives coming in. Thank you so much for your time today, folks. This was really insightful.